to the magic of Zoom and say hello to the one and only the Bellator president, my old friend, Scott Coker, the birthday boy, who celebrated his, 35th birthday on Sunday, Scott?
Yeah, you know what, plus a couple, maybe 20 plus 20 years, Ariel. But it's been a good time. It's been a great ride, and I love what I'm doing, and I'm just going to keep pounding away, buddy.
Back on Showtime. I haven't talked to you in a while. Does it feel good to be back on the old premium cable network that, of course, you had a lot of success with Strikeforce back in the day?
Yeah, it's really like you're reuniting with the family, basically, because the people that were there back in the Strikeforce days are still here. So you have David Dinkins with production, you have Chris de Blasio, PR, Sheila Mills in marketing, Steve Woon's still there. When we sold Strikeforce to the UFC, Steven was actually I think he just came on board a year or two, in that relationship. So yeah, it's like the same team. No one has changed over there. And then you add our team, and we got a lot of great, talented people here at Bellator, and it's been a lot of fun, putting all these puzzles together.
Yeah, and of course you also have Morrow behind the microphone. I mean, in many respects, it feels like a reunion.
Yeah, it is really. To me, it's the best broadcast team in the business, and I'm really enjoying it and having a great time. And it's nice to to see the guys getting the. All the additional pieces that Showtime's making, the all access pieces that are coming out. We have a lot of great social digital content coming up here next year. And we're excited about 22.
Okay. And by the way, yes, I know that for sure. I don't know if you know, but I was, it's like, say, a distant cousin of the Showtime team as part of that Jake Paul broadcast with Tyron Woodley. I don't know if you saw me in the ring, ringside.
Oh.
It was.
Let me tell you, I watched the fight. and I think you did an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not just saying that because I'm on your show, but you did a great job. And I think you should be doing some of the Bellator fights too.
Oh,
Showtime boxing.
Wow.
Come on now.
Okay, well, for now, it was just a one-off. So I'll put you in touch with my agents, and we'll see if we can.
Here we go. Let me hold on my checkbook here real quick.
Yeah. Okay, I have been told by the best PR team in the business, CJ Tuttle, Danny Brenner. I've been told by them, I'm going to name drop them here because they do a phenomenal job getting the word out about Bellator, that you have come bearing gifts, Scott, that you have multiple, not just one. Sometimes you come on one piece of news, but you're coming on in a very giving mood, and you're going to break multiple pieces of news for us. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's accurate. And a lot of it has been in the works for months and months. But the first piece of news is Cris Cyborg's return. Okay. She is going to fight on November 12th at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. And her opponent is going to be Sinead Kavanagh. So that's going to be her next title defense, and it'll be live on Showtime, and that's going to be on December 12th. Okay, and so that will be for the Bellator Women's Featherweight title, the return of one of the greatest of all time, Cris Cyborg, who's looked very good since coming over to Bellator against Sinead Kavanagh, of course, of Ireland. You have a nice roster, of course, of Irish fighters. You've got James Gallagher and Peter Queally, who we may hear some more about. He's fighting in November as well. That's great to hear that Cris is coming back. By the way, side note, because I'll have a couple of side note questions for you here. I think, if all goes well, and is this the first time you're at the Hard Rock in Hollywood? Yes. Bellator was there, I want to say, back in the day, 2012, 2011, back in the day before I came on board. But this will be the first time that we've gone to the Hard Rock there. And really what inspired us really to have that conversation was Stephen Espinoza's friend, Keith Shelton, now is an executive there from Barclays, from the boxing program. They did a lot of business together, and they made the relationship. We all linked up, and we thought it was a good fit. And I think you'll be seeing a lot of fights with Bellator at different Hard Rocks hotel and casinos around the country in 22 and moving forward. Okay, off the top of my head, and I might be wrong, this is literally off the top of my head. I didn't know where the fight was going to happen. I think one of the greatest fights in Bellator history happened there, and that's Eddie Alvarez, Michael Chandler back in 2011. In fact, coincidentally, I don't want to get this wrong. I'm just going to look it up real quick. Coincidentally, the night that fight happened, we were in the same building. Do you know where we were the night that great Bellator fight happened? The first Michael Chandler Eddie Alvarez fight. That was in 11? That was in 11, yes. And what month was that?
It was November of 2011, November 19th. I've just confirmed the Eddie Alvarez, Michael Chandler 1 fight happened at Bellator 58 in Hollywood, Florida. So the same location. I was at the SAP Center, formerly known as the HP Pavilion, for UFC 139. I do believe the very first UFC event in San Jose, because of the sale, opened the door months prior. And I think you were in attendance, right?
Yeah, I think it wasn't
Kung Lee fought, Dan Henderson.
Then he fought Vanderlei Silva.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
Right? And then I think Dan Henderson fought Shogun.
That's right. One of the greatest fights of all time. Yes.
That was an amazing fight. Yeah. I was definitely there and had a good time with some great fights. And, listen, I was rooting for Kung. Didn't work out for him. He ran out of gas a little bit towards the end. But, it was a great fight, great matchup.
Was that a weird one for you to be at a UFC event in your home building?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, anytime I was in their offices or, and they were very respectful, don't get me wrong. And everything Lorenzo said that he was going to do, they did it. But it's just so just surreal to be there and going, this is just a weird experience. Being at the fights is like, it's just a weird experience. But when I look back on it, it's all meant to be and it's all part of the journey. And now it's all about Bellator.
That's right. That's right. So that was a great night. So you're going back there. By the way, that's November 12th, correct?
Yeah, November 12th.
November 12th. All right. So that's the first piece. We'll check it off. I got my pencil right here, Scott. Check it off. Cris Cyborg. Exclusive. By the way, when all you people write the articles about these pieces of news, I want you to say, per Scott Coker on the MMA Hour, okay? So put some respect on our names. That's the first piece of news.
Get that plug in.
Thank you very much. You have to source correctly. So per Scott Coker on the MMA Hour, Cris Cyborg is fighting Sinead Kavanagh, getting a big... She's been talking a lot. She's been hitting me up on Twitter a lot over the past year. She wanted this fight, right? I'm assuming she raised her hand and said, yes, please, when you offered it to her. She didn't run. You didn't have to twist her arm.
No, she came looking for Cyborg, and they've been after us for 6 months, 5 months, and so finally we said, okay, let's do it, let's get it on. You want her that bad? And before there was a little bit of we couldn't get certain fighters into the country, or this the restriction of travel, but now that we got her the proper visas, it just took a long time, but here we are. I mean, this is going to be, I think it's going to be a slugfest, man. This girl's a tough girl. She's going to bring it. She's in a great camp over there in Ireland with SVG. The quality of fighters they have there. It's going to be a great fight.
Okay. And by the way, no Kat Zingano, huh? I thought maybe she would be next.
Yeah. You know what? We're going to have a conversation with Kat, and I think that she will fight the winner of this matchup as early as maybe February of next year, because the Cyborg or Kavanaugh, they want to stay busy. So whoever wins this fight, we're going to turn it around as quick as we can early in 22.
Okay, interesting. And what I was getting at earlier was, I feel like one of the biggest fights you can put on in 22, if all goes well with Cyborg, Cris Cyborg, Kayla Harrison. I feel she's about to become a free agent. She has one fight left. Mm-hmm. I think the world of her. I think she's about to become one of the biggest stars in the sport, the face of women's MMA. She is an absolute beast, top 10 pound for pound. Do you have interest? Can you even say if you have interest? With one fight left on her deal.
The thing is, listen, here is what I'll say. Any free agent that's out there that's in the 145-pound weight class, in the female, that is at a certain level or elite level, like she is, listen, we are in the free agent business. And, we are interested in any female that's available, that can fight at that level. And I think, let's see what happens, because I do understand she will become a free agent here after this next fight. And, if she is a free agent at that time, we'll have a conversation with her and take it from there. But, we're not trying to, get involved with their business and
sure.
and other companies' businesses. But, listen, if they're a free agent, give us a call. We're open for business.
I hear them often calling them, if I'm not trying to stir the pot, but they're saying they're the number 2. And that feels like shots fired, if you ask me.
What do you think?
Well, I think your roster is deeper than theirs.
Yeah. And listen, I think that, the body of work that we've done over the last, 5-6 years, building this business. I mean, I don't think outside the UFC, there's any other companies that can go, let's say for instance, the London fight that we just did, sell 10,000 tickets, have arguably the biggest gate we've ever had in the UK and in Europe. have a great TV deal with the BBC, airing it live. I mean, if you just look at the body of work and the accomplishments that this company has put together with the staff that we have and Viacom, pushing it over the last 5 years, and add this is the healthiest and this is the best roster that we've ever had. And we have fighters, I believe, that could beat fighters in the UFC in 35 and 45 and 205, and then there's Gegard. I mean, it's the list goes on and on and on. So to me, it's like I think you know who's number two. Come on now.
All right,
we all know.
Okay, I like that. Fighting words from Scott Coker. Okay, that's number one. Number two, what do you got?
The next thing is the 155-pound belt held by Patricio Pitbull. He's going to let it go. And now the main event for the fight in Ireland on November 5th is going to be Queally versus his brother Patricky. But that will now be a title shot for the winner of that belt. I think it's the first time we've had a title fight in Ireland and for Bellator. And so I think it's going to be a big deal. And I think that these guys deserve it. And I think that, you should ask Patricio, what his thought process on this was. But we were just asking him, what do you want to do next? And this conversation just kind of came into, his thoughts. And then I said, okay, well, then we'll fulfill your wishes. And here we are. So now we have a great main event. And the Gallagher mix will be the semi-main event. So we have a great 1-2 punch in Ireland. And that's going to be on November 5th. And it's also going to be live on Showtime.
I love it. And by the way, kudos to you guys. Last Friday, you were in London, but you were live. And so we were able to watch the MVP Lima fight exactly when it happened, which is the way all fights should be in 2021. So that's huge. So to recap, Patricio Pitbull, who at one point not that long ago was the double champ, 145 and 155. Unfortunately, he slips against AJ McKee back in July. What a great scene that was in Inglewood. Also still had the belt. He is saying, I'm giving it up. I want my brother to fight for the belt. So now Patricky Pitbull versus Peter Queally, another Irish fighter who's doing big things there and is getting an opportunity to fight in double, is now going to be for the vacant 155-pound title on November 5th.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
And you know what, Scott? We make things. I don't know if you know this. We've been off for a few years. We're the number one show in MMA. We always have been the number one show in MMA. We just needed to give some people some time to catch up. So without further ado, you just mentioned Patricio Pitbull, one of the best fighters on the planet. Let's bring in Mr. Patricio Pitbull, who's joining us right now from Brazil to explain why he's made this decision. Patricio, my friend, obrigado for the time. How are you?
I'm good, my friend. How about you?
I'm doing great. So Scott Coker, the boss, just announced you are vacating the 155-pound title, and as a result, your brother, Patricky Pitbull, is going to fight Peter Queally on November 5th in a rematch to see who's the new champion. Why did you decide to give up the title?
First thing is, I lost the featherweight division, and for me, it don't make sense to be a champion in the lightweight division. If I lost in 145 pounds, I can't be the champion in the 155. So, and the other side, I have my brother as a number one contender, and if he keeps winning, he's gonna fight for the belt, and I'm not gonna fight my brother. That's it.
Wow.
My focus is in a rematch.
Okay, you cut up there for a second. It sounded like you said your focus is the AJ McKee rematch. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so it's a great thing that we have the boss man here, Scott Coker. I feel like that's the fight to make. Now, I was pushing for AJ versus Patricio for the 155 title because I thought that would be cool to see AJ go up to see if he could get that belt, but the belt is no longer Patricio's. Do you have interest in AJ versus Patricio 2 for the featherweight title, a rematch of the fight that happened in July?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. This is a fight that, we've been talking to both camps about. And, it's not put together by any means, but I think it's headed in the right direction, Ariel.
Okay, so it seems like as of right now, we're moving in the direction of Patricio Pitbull versus AJ McKee 2. That will be the next fight for both men.
That's the direction it's heading. Now, it's not, this is something that we have to talk to Antonio,
sure,
sit down with AJ and flesh it out. There's a lot of details that he worked out, but, this is something that Pitbull would like to have happen. And, he's been such a great champion, great ambassador, a great fighter for the company. And I feel like we should try to make this happen as best as we can. But sometimes, in the fight business, as you know, It doesn't always work out, but we're going to try our best. And like I said, I think it's definitely heading in the right direction.
What do you think about this, Patricio? Do you think the fight is going to happen? Do you have a message, perhaps, to AJ McKee as to, make this fight happen, get the ball rolling, put a little pressure on him? What do you think? What do you think, Patricio? What do you want to say to AJ?
I think you are talking with Scott. I'm ready to go. I already training. I feel good. I think that fight was stopped early.
Oh.
I feel I'm there, but I understand everything that happened. I just want my chance to fight him again and prove I am the best featherweight in the world.
Yeah, by the way, Patricio, are you outside? What's going on over there? It sounds like a very windy day in Brazil. What's happening?
Sorry. It's the ventilator.
Oh, the ventilator. Okay, because it was just very loud. I know you live in a beautiful place in Brazil. I thought Mateus was out there surfing. What was that? So you think it was stopped early. Interesting. Can I ask you, Patricio, did you fight too emotionally? Did it get too personal between you two? Did maybe that lead to the bad fight, the early stoppage?
Você acha que você lutou muito emocional?
No.
E isso afetou?
No, I am very calm. I was very calm. I was only thinking about the strategy and trying to do the correct movements during the fight. But he was good. He kicked me very well in that moment. But he was calling the judge to stop the fight.
Oh.
And I didn't agree with that. He was trying to stop the fight. I don't know. I'm feeling this.
Okay. This is good stuff. I have an idea. I'll throw it out there for you, Scott. We're in a giving mood. What do you think about this, Patricio? AJ McKee versus Patricio Pitbull, number 2. Last time you defended the title on his home turf in California. This time the rematch, we do it in Brazil. What do you think about that? Let's go, Bellator in Brazil.
All Brazilians.
You know what?
Brazilians think about that.
Let's go, Scott. What do you say?
Well, here's the thing. We are. I believe this. If COVID didn't hit, we would already be in Brazil promoting fights today. And that was definitely part of the game plan. So the conversations now have picked up with, let's say, Vicom Latin America and with different, let's say, entities in Brazil. We're setting up an infrastructure for sure to go there. But is it going to happen in the next, 4 months? I'm not sure. But listen, if we do go to Brazil, Ariel, the only caveat is that you have to come with us.
Oh, stop it, Scott. I mean, what are you talking about?
Oh, come on.
All right, so we're looking at this to be in the next 4 or so months, if all goes well. By the way, what's the status of AJ McKee? Because he was talking about he wanted the love, he wanted the new deal. Are we going to keep him around?
Mm-hmm. Listen, AJ is our champ, and we expect to have a long-term relationship with him. And these things have a way of working themselves out. A lot of different people involved, a lot of personalities involved, a lot of different agencies involved, and we're just trying to figure out sometimes who do we talk to. So we'll figure it out.
Okay.
This is not something new. I mean,
Sure.
This is something that how many fighters have we had a situation where it comes to this situation where okay, you want to make some changes. Okay, we're open to talk about it, but it has to make business sense for everybody, and it's got to work for all parties involved.
If you need me to bridge the gap, make a few phone calls, I've been known to get deals done, Scott. Just want to let you know.
You know what? I've heard. I have heard. Power broker.
Yes.
Power broker.
Patricio, I'm trying to make it happen for you here. There was a time you thought I didn't like you. I'm trying to make the fight happen in Brazil for you, my friend. I just want to let you know.
Appreciate that. And I feel I have history in Bellator, and I deserve that rematch immediately. So
right away.
Scott, put this fight to happen. I'm ready.
Yeah, we're gonna work on it. We're working on it.
Okay, Patricio, any final word you want to say to AJ? He's listening right now. You want to say something to him?
AJ, next time, please don't call the judge. Let me sleep alone. Don't call the judge. I was there. I didn't tap. and I didn't sleep. Let's fight again, and I will prove you I am the best.
I love it. Obrigado, Patricio. Thank you so much, and kudos to you, and good luck to your brother on November 5th. Your brother, will you be there with him in Ireland?
Yeah, I will be there, yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much, Scott. Stick around, but thank you very much to Patricio for stopping by. He's the man, one of the best fighters still in the game. And hey, shout out to the team for getting us this nice little 2-box here. Yoon and Alex and Joe and Connor, everyone making this happen. Of course, Mysterious Frank always wants to get credit, so I have to give him credit as well. He's a big part of the team. This is a very nice little setup that we have here. Scott, you're still with us?
I'm here.
This is fun, Scott. All right, so that's big news. We had the champ, or the former champ, I should say. Well, it was weird because, like, technically, as of right now, is the title vacated, or does it get vacated on the day the fight happens between Queally and his brother?
No, it's vacated as of right now. It's vacated.
Okay.
There's no lightweight champion, and the winner of that fight will be the new champ.
All right. What else we got?
We got this is something that a lot of fans or MMA fans might feel like this is something that happened in the last 2-3 months because of the way the chips fell on some of these fights. But really, we've been talking about this for the last 6-8 months, and we decided that on January 1st, 2022, that all the main event fights will be 5 rounds. So yeah, it's not going to be like for the Fedor fight or any fight that happens between now and December 31st. But on January 1 moving forward, all fights are going to be 5 rounders.
All main event fights, all main event non-title fights will be 5 rounders. And ultimately, why are you doing this?
I'll tell you. When I talk about we, I'm talking about me and Mike and Rich and and Jane and the team, and like we were discussing, man, I sure would have liked to see another couple rounds of that fight, right? And this is earlier, throughout the year, and then when the fight happened with Yoel Romero, I said, oh man, I sure would have liked to see 2 more rounds of that fight. And then with MVP, same thing. I said, okay, guys, we're gonna pull the trigger. So we're making an official announcement that starting January 1st is going to happen, but it's been in the works internally for a while, but it's just time. And I think the people really want it. The fans want it. I think the fighters want it, and our company wants it. So that's where we're going.
This is great. Long overdue. I felt the same way, especially on Friday. Man, I want to see 2 more rounds. It felt unfulfilling. I have to be honest, when this first started with the UFC, I think actually, by the way, how crazy is this? This just came to my mind, Scott. I think the first ever 5-round non-title fight main event was actually Hendo Shogun at the SAP Center in 2011. I mean, are you kidding me? I actually think that was the first one ever. How crazy is this? It's all coming together for us.
That is crazy.
I didn't love it because I felt like it was special that the title fights were 5 rounds. But now, after a decade of watching it, and especially you have these main events, it's like, it feels unfulfilled. It feels sort of undecided, right? So this is great. Now, let me ask you, why not start it immediately? Is it because these other fights were signed for 3-round fights, so you can't pull the trigger right now?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, we have contracts in place with Fedor and Johnson, and like we have contracts for pretty much throughout the whole year. And then the fight in November, both of them are title fights now, so that doesn't matter. And then the fight in December will probably be a title fight as well. So it's really not going to impact this year. So we just said, hey, January 1, we'll start a clean slate, and then this is what we'll do moving forward.
Okay, this is wonderful. Very big news. I'm assuming you're not going to get any pushback from any of the fighters, right? I'm assuming that the majority of them who are fighting in main event fights are going to be on board with this. Yeah,
they're going to be on board. They actually want it. I think that they're going to be happy to have it. I think this gives them more time to go do and perform their craft. Mm-hmm. And I've heard the different arguments about the wear and tear on the athletes and this sort of thing. But to me, it just makes a lot of sense. If you're a main event fighter, fighting on a show like Bellator on a network like Showtime, you should be able to go 5 rounds.
Yeah.
And the only reason why we didn't do it earlier was just the timing and middle of the year, and we just said, look, let's just hold it. And now that we're rolling into the 4th quarter, it's just time, and I think everybody's ready, and we're going to embrace it, and it's going to be the rule moving forward.
I love it. And just for the sake of accuracy, I think the event before Liban Munoz 138 was the first one. It doesn't matter, but you get the point. It was around that time. All right, so this is great. Do we have anything else? I mean, I feel like I'm being a little greedy here, but is there anything else?
Well, you know what? I tell you, I did read your newsletter the other day.
Oh,
I was looking at the news. Oh, here we go.
Oh, yes. I believe actually in that. I believe in that newsletter. Thank you for that, Scott. Thank you for the subscription. I believe I actually mentioned that I think all the fights should go 5 rounds. Did you see that?
You did.
Yes.
You did. And the other thing you mentioned was that, the co-promotions
with
I
was going to ask you about
different organizations. And so, Saki Barra was here about three weeks ago when we sat down. He was here for 5 days, actually. And we had a good chat, good talk. And, there's obviously some restrictions with what's going on. But, we talked about a lot of different scenarios. And, I think next year you'll probably see 2 or 3 different opportunities where we're going to send fighters back and forth. As you know, we have Horiguchi now under contract. And he will definitely, I believe, be one of the athletes that are involved in these back and forth challenges. But we're just waiting for this, this thing called COVID to just, calm down a little bit again. Because back in June, Ariel, I thought it was wide open. I thought, everybody's open for business, and we started making all these plans, all these international fights. I started talking to Saki Barra. We were planning to do something together, as early as maybe the 31st on his event where we would send some fighters. But now that the COVID is back and Japan's is kind of on lockdown, Hawaii is on lockdown. There's still a lot of places where we can't go or we can't do business. So as we're figuring that out, but I promise you, we will have some great co-promotions with Rizin at some point with the fighters going, like I said, back and forth. And you will see a Bellator in Japan event in 2022 at some point.
I love it. And for some context, it was just, back in the day, it was easy to differentiate yourself from the other promotions with women's MMA. Now everyone has women on the roster. So I think the one thing that the UFC isn't doing that you have been open to doing in the past is co-promotion. And I feel like an event where it's like one versus Bellator and it's billed that way, not just a couple of guys sprinkled here and there, like an actual, clash of worlds, so to speak, worlds colliding. I think the fans get behind that because then they get behind the brand. They get behind, they keep tabs on who's winning, who's up by the end of the night. Oh, Bellator won 4, these guys won 3. It's fun to get behind the brand like that. So, it's all coming out of love. You know that, right?
No, I agree. And listen, I have never, when we did Strikeforce, we did fights with pride.
Yeah.
We sent Gilbert Melendez over there. They sent Kawajiri here. They sent Aoki here. I mean, we've done, plenty of co-promotions in the past. And sometimes it doesn't work with all the companies because they have, so they have different network maybe, or it might be a different distribution deal. Who owns the intellectual property rights? Who's going to have, there's a lot of business components that you have to work out. And so, with Saki Barra, it's been such a relationship for 20 years that we've been doing this back and forth. It's been an easy, easy time to figure out all the business details. But I tell you what would be amazing is at some point if there was a World Cup of MMA, right, and everybody threw in the best that they could throw, including the UFC, and let's get it on. I mean, to me, that would be the as a martial artist, I feel like that would be amazing, wouldn't it? That would be something that we would fully support. Yeah, but everybody has to participate. You can't have one company, holding the ball and going in the corner. We need everybody to participate in something like that. And I think that would just do amazing business. I think it'd be, but then again, who would own the world? Who would run the IP? Who would own this? Who would own that?
You guys could figure it out. Like, I mean, we've got PBC and Matchroom and Top Rank and Queensberry. They're all working together.
Listen, I agree. We could work it out, but it has to be everybody come to the table.
Sure.
That's really what it is, so, but,
and you don't think realistically
that's something
they're not going to do it, right?
I don't think they will. The business model has always shown that they're really not supportive of that type of co-promotion, but, maybe things could change in the future. It's who knows, but, I think that would be something that would really, really be a lot of fun to promote. And then you see who really the world's best is. Because, look, I could say, hey, our 135-pound weight class is stacked. You could beat anybody in the world. We have 205. We got Gegard. We have all these great fighters. It's like we could say the same thing. We could make a lot of claims, and they're making a lot of claims. Everybody's can make a lot of claims, but until they fight each other, you don't really know, right? So to me, if they want to get it on, then everybody participates. We would definitely get behind something like that.
And I'm old enough to remember when they sent Chuck Liddell to Pride to fight over there. So there is a precedent. Now, the times were different, but they were open. I remember Dana White at the broadcast booth. Remember that? Those were some crazy times back then. It would be a great thing to see if you guys all work together. By the way, just curious, it felt like a few years ago, I also mentioned this, like free agency was more of a thing. More guys were willing to test the market. And Bellator profited from that. Others did as well. Why do you feel like less fighters are doing that? It feels like less fighters are willing to fight out the deals and see what's out there. Why do you think that is?
I'll tell you, it's something that's always come in cycles, Ariel. It hasn't been, like the science where every many months. So, it's really been like cycles. And honestly, there have been some free agents, and maybe we're not interested in. They're not a good fit for us, or maybe they're a good fit for another organization. But listen, there's when you talk about stars of the sport, right? They come up once in a let's say once every year or once every 2 years. And that's what you're talking about is, having stars that jump across different companies. But I don't think they've ever been, an abundance of those stars shopping free agency. But I do believe that, once every year, once every 18 months, certain stars will pop up and we're going to be in the bidding for them, as well as a lot of other companies. But I do believe that it comes in cycles, and to me, it's kind of feels normal. Like this is not something that happens every month.
Okay. Can I hit you with a couple more and then we'll let you go?
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Curious, some scary news regarding Rumble Johnson. It seems like he's not feeling well. Is there anything you could tell us about his health status?
I'll tell you, what I can tell you, what I know is that he's just not, healthy. He's not healthy enough to fight, obviously, but he's trying to get healthy, just as a human being. This has nothing to do with fighting. Mm-hmm. And I think he's had some real scares in some of his health, and they're trying to figure it out. I think that's one of the things that's very concerning is that the doctors just don't know. And I know we've been in touch with him. Our team's been in touch with him, and it's just something that, when you don't know the diagnosis and you're not feeling well, and your body isn't acting right or not functioning right, it's going to be a scary situation. So to me, this has nothing to do with fighting. This really has to do with just him healing up and, having a normal life at some point. And if he's well enough to fight again, then yeah, that's great. But I mean, I look at this as more of this is a step. Like you got to take that first step of just being healthy first. And so that's where it's at. That's how I look at it from our company perspective.
Okay. And we certainly wish him the best. You mentioned the 135-pound division. There were some rumors of a tournament. Sergio Pettis, new champ. What are we thinking about 135? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the divisions that we're stacked in. And, we haven't decided really what the tournament will be moving forward in 2022. But that's definitely one of the candidates for the weight class because there's so many great fighters. I mean, it's going to be fun. I think we might even go back to a 16-man tournament if we do 35s because there's so much talent on in that division that we'd have to probably expand it because I don't think we could pick 8 people and feel good about it or have number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's so much talent there that we might have to do a 16-man tournament if we choose that weight class. But it hasn't been decided, and you'll be the first to know, Ariel.
Oh, wow. We could do this every month. You come on, few scoops. Good for me, good for you. I don't mind. If you want to set this right now as a thing every, first Wednesday of the month, I think it would be a nice little tradition.
Yeah, let's do it. Listen, I'm so proud of all your hard work and all your effort, your contribution to mixed martial arts.
Oh, thank you.
And I know you. I remember from back, way back when we used to talk in New York City, and we were announcing. I remember you were the first one I told we had the Strikeforce heavyweight tournament too, mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And so you've done great things, man. I'm happy for you. Just keep going, and you're making a difference. And I just wanted to tell you, from myself and all of our staff, we love working with you, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. And don't let the haters hate. And
that's right.
Keep it down. Just keep it going.
That's right.
Keep it real.
Scott, next event, you got to show up wearing a Helwani shirt. It's a lifestyle, Scott. It's a mindset. It's not a gimmick. Okay. 10-7 Helwani. You can wear that as well. Last question for you, and I appreciate those words very much. It's the most important one. Everyone's hitting me up about this. They need an update on this particular fighter, perhaps the most popular fighter on your roster right now. He's coming off a huge win. Everyone buzzing about him. Of course, you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the legend, the future legend, the inimitable Big Tuna Ben Parish. Everyone talking about Big Tuna. What do we got with Big Tuna? Are we going to see him again soon?
Man, I tell you, you should have been here in this building. It erupted. It was louder. It was louder than Hendo versus Shogun right in here. I'm telling you, it was. And the thing is, like, you know, here comes this guy. And he's built the way he's built, and people aren't expecting that he's got this big punch. But man, he proved himself that night, and the fans here in San Jose love him. They're ready. All my friends, all the people that came to the fight here, they're like, "Hey, when's he coming back?" So, you know, he told us at the fight, "Well, I can't come back this year because I don't have any more time off."
What? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That is incredible. Come on.
Yeah, I know. That's what he said. But listen, we're definitely in talks with him, but we're going to try to get him back as soon as possible because, you know, he was a lot of fun. He's a lot of talent. He's got a big punch, and you know, he's got a little personality on him, man. I dig it. So we're gonna push to get him back here in the next couple of months.
Are you gonna get the Paul brothers involved? Logan, maybe wrestler.
Yeah, listen, that conversation started 2-3 years ago in Miami at the Super Bowl, and we met with Logan and his management, and we said, you know, they wanted to go into boxing, and I said, look, if you ever want to do MMA, please give us a call. And we had a nice conversation. I thought he was a great kid, and obviously they're hard workers, as you can know. They're grinding out there at their camps. They're doing what they do. Both the brothers, they're talented. They're getting better. Ariel, I'm telling you. I said from the beginning, these guys are getting better and better and better. Don't underestimate these kids' fighting ability because they're putting in the work, right? And so, but you know, my view of the whole thing is like, if they would want to come to MMA, we'd love to have them in Bellator, and we'd love to have them because I always felt like, look, you're putting, let's say, you know, Ben, and you know, I know he's mad at me because my prediction, whatever, but you know, it's like you guys kind of know. To me, it's like I feel like, okay, I get it. I see the writing on the wall here. You know, T-Wood was a real fight, and I think it was a close fight. I think that it just showed that Jake's getting better and better to fight a guy like T-Wood, even if it's in boxing. But how much sparring and training and fighting has T-Wood done over the last 10 years? You know, and a lot of people thought T-Wood was just going to take it to him, but it didn't work out. So as these kids are getting better, you know, my hope is that they can come to MMA and really try their craft and their skill set in mixed martial arts, because they do have a wrestling background, and these guys are athletic, they're young, and they put in the work. And I think that there'll be a lot of fun to watch them develop, because, you know, and not just because of their social following, because, you know, that's going to come with the business piece and all that. But I'm talking about, see how they would develop over a year or two fighting in MMA. It'd be a lot of fun to watch.
It would be great.
You know, we'll see. I'm sure they have a lot of opportunities. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
Well, Scott, I notice you swiping up a lot. It's probably all those media members trying to get more scoops, trying to leech onto our news here.
They're saying, why do you give everything to Ariel? They always say, why do you give everything to Ariel?
You're a smart guy. You know, you come to the best. You get the word out. Everyone's buzzing. 3 pieces of news. Cris Cyborg's next fight against Sinead Kavanagh. Of course.
The singer?
Yes. That would be crazy. Sinead Kavanagh on November 12th. Patricio Pitbull versus one Peter Queally is now for the vacant title after Patricio Pitbull vacated the title. So that's 2 pieces of news right there. So now we're at 3. And then, of course, the biggest one of the bunch, in my opinion, all Bellator non-title main events as of January 1st will be 5 rounds. And the people have been asking for this. You have delivered. Scott, thank you so much. Appreciate you doing this. I'll talk to you in a month for the next set of breaking news that you'll have for us, okay?
I'll be ready. I'll be ready. I'll have it in my back pocket, in my bag, and be ready to bring them all out for you, Ariel.
All right. All the best, Scott, and good luck next week, another event. And then you're, of course, going to Russia for the Fyodor event. Looking forward to that. Take care.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. There he is, Bellator president, Scott Coker. Great stuff there, right?